fraud,
Bribery and
corruption,
corruption have worsened in the country over the last.
conflict of interest,
The president-elect once saying in the
unclear responsibilities, abuse social behavior.
police officers, including Officer
These are just some things an organization must prevent. If you're a person who likes spinning numerous plates about organization world, then this video is yours. There has been many confusions as to how to understand many things, considering that we lived in a rapidly changing times. In a single generation, how do organizations adapt to entirely rules, policies, processes, techniques, and strategies? How do they provide responsibilities? Welcome to corporate governance.
Before we dig in more deeply into corporate governance, let us define what is corporation and governance. Corporation is a legal entity that is separate and distinct from its owners. Corporations enjoy most of the rights and responsibilities that individuals possess. They can enter contracts, loan and borrow money, sue and be sued, and hire employee, own it, and pay taxes. Some refers to it as a legal person, while governance refers to a process whereby elements in the society wield power, authority, and influence, and enact policy and decision concerning public life and social upliftment. It comprises all the processes of governing over a social system, whether through laws, norms, power, or language of an organized society.
Since we already know about corporation and governance, now we're going to immerse it in its code, corporate governance. It is defined as a system of rules, practices, and regulation by which business corporations are directed and controlled, and it basically involves balancing the interests of a company many stakeholders. So, what is the importance of corporate governance? It is important since it facilitates effective entrepreneurial and prudent management that can deliver long-term success of the company, and it also protects the interests of other stakeholders by improving the corporate performance and accountability.
As we all initially know, corporate governance is traditionally thought of as the way in which enterprises are directed and controlled. More recently, corporate governance has been defined as the framework of rules and procedures by which the decisions in an enterprise are made and how the controllers are held accountable for them. The key elements within an effective governance framework and the issues relating to each element are set out in the following picture and are relevant to small and large, both in public and private sectors. So the governance starts with the shareholders delegating responsibilities through an elected board of directors to management and in turn to operating units with oversight and assistance from internal auditors. And in return for the authorities given to the management and the board, governance demands accountability back through the system of shareholders. Also, the management and the board have responsibilities to act within the laws of society and to meet various requirements of creditors, employees, and other stakeholders. The owners want accountability on such things as first, financial performance, financial transparency, financial statements that are clear and with full disclosure, stewardship, quality of internal control, composition of the board of directors, and the nature of its activities. The essence of any system of good corporate governance is to allow the board and management the freedom to drive their organization forward and to exercise that freedom within a framework of effective accountability. Additionally, it is important to recognize that management is part of the governance framework, since management can influence who sits in the board and the audit committee, as well as other governance control that might be put into place.
What are the principles that constitute the success of a corporation? Securities and Exchange Commission is a U.S. government agency responsible for regulating the securities markets and protecting investors. Its primary function is to oversee organizations and individuals in the securities markets, including securities exchanges, brokerage firms, dealers, investment advisors, and investment funds. There are 16 principles set by the SEC that were based on the latest G20 or OECD Principles of Corporate Governance and the ASEAN Corporate Governance Scorecard as key reference materials. Adoption of the comply or explain approach. The code does not in any way prescribe a one-size-fits-all framework. The principles are categorized into 5 parts. First, the board's governance responsibilities. 1. Establishing a competent board. 2. Establishing clear roles and responsibilities of board. 3. Establishing board committees. 4. Fostering commitment. 5. Enforcing board independence. 6. Assessing board performance. And 7. Strengthening board ethics. The second, disclosure and transparency. 8. Enhancing company disclosure policies and procedures. 9. Strengthening the external auditor's independence and improving audit quality. 10. Increasing focus on non-financial sustainability reporting. 11. Promoting a comprehensive and cost-efficient access to relevant information. The third, internal control system and risk management framework. 12. Strengthening the internal control system and enterprise risk management framework. Fourth, cultivating a synergic relationship with shareholders. 13. Promoting shareholder rights. Lastly, the fifth, duties to stakeholders. 14. Respecting rights of stakeholders and effective redress for violation of stakeholders' rights. 15. Encouraging employees' participation. And 16. Encouraging sustainability and social responsibility. What is CSR and its importance to a corporation? Corporate social responsibility, or known as CSR, is a self-regulating business model that helps a company be socially accountable to itself, its stakeholders, and the public. By practicing CSR, companies can be conscious of the kind of impact they are having on all aspects, including economic, social, and environmental. From the article of Mr. Chris Murphy, there are 3 key takeaways as to why CSR is important to the corporation. First, being a socially responsible company can bolster a company's image and build its brand. Second, social responsibility empowers employees to leverage the corporate resources at their disposal to do good. Third, formal corporate social responsibility programs can boost employee morale and lead to greater productivity in the workforce.
Our next topic should answer the following questions. What possible problems that the corporate governance can encounter and how can it be resolved? The possible problems that the corporate governance can encounter is the agency problem, which is the very common possible problem that the corporate governance can encounter. Agency problem is a conflict of interest inherent in any relationship where one party is expected to act in the best interest of another. The agency problem does not exist without a relationship between a principal and an agent. In this situation, the agent performs a task on behalf of the principal. Agents are commonly engaged by principals due to different skill levels. Having a good congruence can help solve this agency problem. Good congruence is when the goals of the different interest groups, such as principal and agent, coincide. Introducing a carefully designed remuneration packages, such as giving incentives or disincentives, can motivate agents.
The world is an amazing place. The complexity is staggering. And to be able to immerse oneself in that complexity and emerge at the end with some relatively simple truth, it is an honor and privilege, and it's our greatest hope that we will undertake that journey together. How do you make sense of it? And how do you respond? Do you want to be a future best leader of your time? The decisions are in your hands.